and welcome to Frivolous and Frugal Knitting Podcast. I'm Frugal Miss Penny.
And I was going to say Frugal Miss Dawn. I'm Frivolous McDawn. What's going on? I'm Dawn.
Mm-hmm. That's
Frivolous.
exactly
Yes.
right. Welcome to podcast number 4. We're so excited for those of you who are returning and joining us. We appreciate your faithfulness, and even more than that, we just love your comments that you've been posting.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks for all the good ideas and the suggestions and even some of the corrections.
We need them.
We do. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time, welcome. We're two sisters who talk about our love of knitting, the community of knitters, and how knitting is woven into our life.
Absolutely.
That was a dad pun. Okay. Anyway, please, if you will, grab your note-taking device for those tidbits of information that we'll give. Also, your current knitting project and your sense of humor. And let's get started on episode 4.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Yes.
And we come to you today from Ohio. So we are at Miss Penny's house.
We are.
So husbands and sons are told to be quiet for this next hour, so we will see how that goes. Mm-hmm. So otherwise, you may hear some background noise. Just so you know, we are both on Instagram, Ravelry, Facebook. We'll give you the details at the end of the episode, and we also put them on our show notes. So show notes can be found, the simple form of show notes can be shown in the bar below, but the ones that give you links, Penny puts on Ravelry. So, and we try to get those up relatively quick. So
Relatively is the operative word there.
And we did not Black Friday shop. Well, we did. We went to a knit shop. We'll tell you about that in a little bit.
Yes.
But we did not venture too far out. So,
No.
which is good.
And we have been battling in this household a gastrointestinal virus. It has been moving, unfortunately.
Moving. Get it?
That's 2 dad jokes in one episode. Golly, we got to keep moving. All righty. So I guess first on the list are our COFOs,
Yes,
right?
right. So let's, the first thing I have, remember COFO is cast on and finished off between podcasts. And because we only podcast once a month, here is Fred the Head.
Thank you, Fred.
We should call her Frederica. She's wearing a female hat. Or we need to spend the $3 to get a female head. So this is a set of mittens and...
Do you want me to hold this?
Yeah, do you want to? Don't look too close. They haven't been blocked yet. This is an old knit vent pattern by Helen Stewart, and they're called the Juniper Mitts. And a former student of mine asked me if I'd be willing to knit his girlfriend something for Christmas, and I said no, and you can see how successful that was. So he wanted a hat too, so I just took the repeating pattern from the Juniper Mitts, and with some of the help with the girls at the knit shop, we incorporated that into the hat. And I think every hat just needs a pom-pom. Right? Look at that. Isn't that fun?
It is fun. And it's a very nicely shaped pom-pom.
Yeah. We didn't have to hit this one with the blow dryer. But, gosh, it just turned out nice. So I will give those to him so that he can give them to his
There went
girlfriend.
Mike.
Oh, did you see somebody in the background?
So sorry. It's my sick husband.
Was he dressed? We don't know. We'll have to see. We'll keep right on going. We don't care. Okay, so this was Cascade 220 Superwash, worsted weight. Knit them on a size 3 and 4, although that seems a little small. I don't know if that's right. But because I made some adaptations to make the hat, those are on my project page in Ravelry. I did not put the repeat because this is a paid-for pattern
Oh,
by
good.
Helen Stewart. And I was going to look, I think, like Knit Vent 2014.
Oh, knit vent's been going on that
I
long?
think so.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
We were young then.
We were young and restless.
Younger. Okay. Well, very good. What's do you have any COFOs?
I do
You
have COFOs, and of course, fellow knitters, it is November, and Christmas is coming in spite of me. So I managed to knit 2 more bankhead hats, actually 3 more. These are the Packer stripeway or colorway from Cascade Anthem cords. And so I have 2 different sizes. That is the adult large, and then I also did a child child and adult. Oh no, backwards. Did the adult, and so I finished those two. And since you have different projects, do you mind if I go ahead and just show them my other bank head and get it out of the way?
Yeah. I think Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback for the Packers, would look very nice wearing one of these.
Oh, I think so too. I wonder if he'll
I'm
request
sure.
it.
He watches our podcast.
Of course he does. Him and Danica.
In our mind, okay.
And then we're
Look
going to
at this
just
one.
cover Fred's eyes. This is another Packer hat. This is going to be for my son for Christmas. I still have ends to weave inside, but again, it's the bank head, and it's Simplify or Simply Worsted by Skacel.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Simplicity.
Simplicity,
Yeah.
that's it. So nice little worsted, very quick, fast project.
Gosh, how many hats now?
I don't even know. But you know, speaking of that very quickly, Dawn gave me a great idea for Ravelry. I'm just going to put one bankhead hat, for instance, in 2019 in my Ravelry
Oh, your
page and
project
list
page,
all
yeah.
my separate projects underneath it.
We spent some time last night playing around on Ravelry and trying to, I don't know, streamline it or just make it
Yeah.
easier for us so that we don't have to spend so much time. Because if we're on Ravelry, that means we're not knitting.
That's right.
So is that it? Oh, I have one more COFO. It won't
Yes,
fit on
you
this hat.
do.
Look at this. So last podcast, I did a Packer hat that was like not for a newborn. It was more like for a preschooler. So
In college.
yeah, in college. So this is for Austin's Phi-Ed teacher, had a baby, and I wanted to learn helical knitting. So I just watched some YouTubes. There's a boatload of YouTubes, and I didn't really find one better than the other. So I did link one on my Facebook page. But this is knitting in the round without the jog.
I know, and I really like that.
I have some mistakes in it, and I do a few things different next time. But what a great way to use scraps.
Absolutely.
So in 2017, I think it was, we decided to do the temperature scarf.
We did?
So
No,
I
you did.
did. I bought all the yarn, for all the different temperatures.
Imagine that.
And I made it I started on January 1st. I made it till January 11th. And then I quit. So I have all this yarn to use. So what a great way. So this is Head Huggers. It's an old Anne Norland pattern. I don't even know if it's still available. And it's just in the infant. So this will now go to Austin's teacher. Okay. I'm
like
going to
that.
see if you see the mistake. Oh, there it is. Whoop, whoop,
Oh,
whoop.
it shows up.
It
big
really
time
shows up on the
that,
camera.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does. You can really see that there.
Right. Oh, look at
This
this.
is Big Mike, everyone. Say hello. Bless his heart.
Edit that thing out.
He is battling the virus.
Cooties.
Uh-huh.
Do they still say that anymore?
I'm sure
Cooties?
they do. Our family does, obviously. We're stuck in, what did Jesse say, the 90s?
Oh, yeah, he said we were in the 1990s. What's up with that? Okay.
I don't understand either.
All right.
Cool.
So I think that's all of our COFOs. How about what's on our needles?
I think
Does
you're
that
right.
seem reasonable?
It does seem reasonable. Let me just show you.
Oh,
You've been keeping up with my ivy over
Look
the
at
wall
this.
or over the door.
Ivy over the door?
Ivy over the door. And I am about 2 rows from being 75% finished with this.
Guys, this is a great pattern and a solid.
It is. Don't you think? You
Yep.
can really see. Whoops. We did it again, Dawn.
We showed it backwards.
We did. So you can really see this
Oh,
pattern
it
nicely.
looks much better on this.
We've
Okay.
learned when we get dressed to wear our clothes right side out too.
Well, some of us don't say it.
And so anyway, yeah, so I'm near 75%. I am committed to getting this a finished object for the December podcast. I've got to get it off
Okay,
my
that's
needles.
a deal.
Yeah.
This
so.
was Helen Stewart.
This was part of the Shawl
Oh,
Society.
that's what it was. Yeah, the Shawl
Shawl
Society.
Society 3. And I didn't do it because we didn't, the samples that were shown didn't speak to me, but when Dawn did it in the solids
solid,
and
yeah.
tonals, it was easy for
And
me
what
to
is
do.
this yarn? Is this?
It's Cascade Silk.
Oh, Cascade Heritage Silk.
Yeah,
It's that
that's all
silk.
it is.
Can you
Fingering
imagine when
weight.
this is blocked? It's going to drape beautifully.
I think it is. And I think I'm going to be pretty aggressive when I block it because I want that pattern
Absolutely.
to show. So that's my plan, to have it as an FO for the December podcast. You're getting ready to say something cheeky, aren't
No,
you?
I am. I'm thinking for Christmas we need bigger blocking mats
Oh,
and more blocking pins and a bigger house.
there we go. I'm sure that there's someone in the room that's taking notes. I would hope.
And I would think if I had a really nice vehicle to tote it around.
Oh, like your Lexus?
Lexus.
There you go. Why? I don't think you're asking too much at all.
Lexus, Chrysler, come on, they're all that
Oh
same.
my goodness.
All right. I am doing, this is going to be big.
It is, and I
This
can't wait.
is the Knit Pearl Hunters, so Michelle Hunters knit along that was for the
You
month
might watch it, Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
Here, let me
The
hold
month
it.
of October. It is called Match Play, and it is a poncho. It is knit in Sueno, which I think is technically maybe a DK, or it might be worsted and it feels like a DK. So, yeah, my stepdaughter asked for a poncho, so I sent her the color choices, and she picked this out. It is the caramel colorway. So she wanted a little bit wider and a little bit longer. And now I've just started the back, which is just this dotted pattern. So again, I'd like that to be done so I could give it to her as a Christmas gift. So maybe by the December podcast, this will be done. It's going to have a cowl neck as well. So I made a few modifications. Those are on my Ravelry page as well. You know what? I just
This
like the
is
stitch definition.
gorgeous.
That diamond pattern really shows up nicely.
Yes, it does.
So
I've got to tell you, I'm a fan,
Yep.
and it's got to go on my 2019
yeah.
potential projects.
Some of the gals at the knit shop, one's doing it in a denim blue, which is stunning. Another one's doing it in the brick red, which is stunning. I like Sueno. I have to
do
tell
too.
you.
I like Sueno. I think if you knit with it, that tight twist just rolls over your fingers and your needles.
So, okay,
This
yeah.
is so
hopefully,
pretty.
it has
Gorgeous.
a sweater's quantity worth of yarn in it.
See, that's
Yeah,
why
which
it's
is
going to
amazing.
I know.
It should be beautiful, and I'm hoping it doesn't stretch too much because it doesn't have any fibers in it that to me that are like that will elongate it or
Right.
make it hang to your knees. Kind
And
of like my boobs. Okay.
Oh, and we're going to talk about those in just a little bit. I mean, not those, that. Yeah, I think this is
Yeah.
gorgeous. This
Yeah, fun,
gorgeous,
fun, fun.
gorgeous.
So that's what's on my needles. I hope it's off for the December podcast. So
That'll be a close one too.
It
won't
will be close.
But you're not doing any other Christmas gifts.
I don't think so.
Do you have some sick days?
Nobody at work watches this video. So.
No, they wouldn't. Okay. I have a couple of other items on my needles, but I think the big one for me is my Strange Brew
look at
sweater.
this, you guys.
So I started this the first part of November for part of the class. Remember I told you I did the anthology hat
Yeah.
for Gage? And so then I cast this on using the very same pattern that I used on my hat.
Look at this.
Woo! So, and I don't have anything on the end to keep my stitches on my needles. So
Look at that collar or that yoke.
So in planning for this, there are two ways to do the yoke. You can just do your decreases before or after the pattern, or you can wedge it and design wedge-shaped sections that automatically
Will
decrease the
decrease.
yokes.
Okay.
So I had to miss class this past week, which I was hoping I could go so my instructor could give me some tidbits of advice. I didn't go, so I'm just stepping out hoping I'm doing this right. I'm going to try the wedge method. So what that means is I have to recalculate how I decrease it in the number of rows given for
Yeah.
the yoke.
I
And then
can't
the
help it.
other thing I tried is I'm going to steek this puppy.
Oh, that's right.
So what I did was I put in 7 additional stitches down the center of the garment. It's purl 3, knit 1, purl 3. And I did that because I don't like anything tight. So I wanted plenty of positive ease in the sweater. So I'll be steeking it once I finish my yoke. And then I'm going to be in the hunt for some button bands.
Yep, you are.
So if anyone has some pretty button band patterns that they can refer to in the show notes thread, I would love that.
That would be nice. Yeah, I can't wait to see this done.
And then the other thing I did, I'm not carrying my floats like I did, or tucking them, I'm carrying them. Now, fortunately for me, the longest carry I have is 5 stitches. But I didn't do that in my hat. I tucked them every 3. So I'm trying that. It'll be a real, I guess,
That's what they are saying.
test.
Just let it go.
Let them go. So I'm going to do it.
Let it go. Let it go.
Don't worry, babe. You gotta break a few eggs to make jokes.
Okay. Dad joke. Yeah, boy, that's beautiful.
It is.
I can't wait to see that.
I'm excited about this
December, you think, huh? Maybe? You have to do
Maybe.
your
I have
Christmas
class
knitting.
this Thursday, but I got to finish Christmas knitting.
I know. Penny, the teacher, missed class. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I did.
We'll talk about that later.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. Wow, fun.
Cool.
I like that.
So anyway, yeah, that's the other project on my needles.
Very good, very good. Now I am part of the Mystery Shawl Mania at
Yes.
We're at Magpie's Cottage in Sheboygan, and this is our one for December and January. The pattern is, I don't know if you can read it with the glare. Plaid is the new fad. It's by Kelly Monster of Monster Knits. It is slip stitches. It is a paid-for pattern, so I won't. But look.
Isn't that gorgeous?
So pink, hot pink for sure, and then a light gray and a dark gray. The pink is the yarn that was knit by Elgin Knitworks for the 3-ply podcast. I think it's called 3-ply. And then the light gray and dark gray are from One Twisted Tree, who the dyer is Danny.
Prairie Girl Danny.
Prairie Girl Danny,
From
look at
Prairie
that.
Girls
So these
podcast.
slip stitches are giving you this plaid effect. So you can see it kind of puckers because of some of those slip stitches, but I think they'll block out. We think
Did
they'll
Miss
block out.
Amy? I forgot to ask you this earlier. Did she say she aggressively
Yes,
blocked
she
hers?
aggressively blocks,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that'll be cool. It's been fun to see the different
Gorgeous.
colors of that being done. And we have December and January to get this knit, so I've got to believe I'll have it done by the end of January.
Absolutely.
So it's one of those, though, you have to think. So I can't have too much going on around me. So otherwise I do a lot of tinking back. So, but that'll be a big asymmetrical triangle. And you know what? There's some people on Ravelry who have done the project who post their pictures and they post close-ups. So when you're doing something, I appreciate those people who do the close-ups. I generally take the big picture, but it may be when it gets to like these slip stitch patterns, if I do a couple of close-ups, that may help somebody else. Because I appreciate those people who
That's
have
a good
taken the
idea.
time to put their project pictures in.
That is a good idea. Oh, speaking of that, here's a question. How many are too many pictures
I don't know.
for a project? I just had that thought.
I would say a lot of people put, you think 5 to 7?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm asking because I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
But that would be something to consider.
The
So
more
if you're-
detailed, maybe the more pictures.
Maybe.
You know, the more color. I don't know.
No.
Yeah, so if anybody, I don't think there's any rules, but at what point do you have overload? Sensory overload from looking at too many pictures.
Right.
So
I don't know. That's a
Yeah.
good question. But
Yeah.
I'm like you. I appreciate the detailed pictures.
All right.
All right, and I do have one other item I just cast off. It's a finished object, and it is my vanilla latte sock made out of opal. Oh yeah, I guess you can put that on there. This is the sock. If you'll remember, I was trying for the first time to do my toe-up construction and my fish lips kiss heel. And so, your fishy lips. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Would you do that again? So first of all, who am I to question Ann Budd after attending her sock class when she clearly told me, Penny, to get gauge, you need to use a 0. And I wanted to be like everybody else and used a 1.5 needle. Sock is too big. I thought it wouldn't be, but it's too big now.
is
So
too big,
I'm
yeah.
going to throw it in the washing machine and the dryer to see if I can shrink it up. And I'm also learned from this sock, I'm going to have to modify that heel. The heel's too big.
Yeah, you have a narrow heel.
I do. And bridge in my nose. But those are the only 2 narrow things on my body. So those are 2 things that I learned with this. And also, I forgot to ask you, Dawn, what kind of a bind off do you use
I
on
use
the
that
top?
Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off.
Well, I did the regular one.
little too tight.
It is too
You can
tight
back
for
up
me.
You can back up one.
I guess I probably couldn't I?
Yeah.
Unless I just trimmed off
I think there's
enough.
some videos on that Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off.
Yep. So that's it for me. It's
Those are
been a
pretty
month
colors,
of working, but not
they?
finishing.
Yeah, we don't have much finish this month.
Mm-mm.
What else? Oh, the cowl.
We got to see this cowl.
So this is by
gorgeous.
Church Mouse Yarns. It's called the Inside Outside. It's a very simple knit. It's just one long tube. You buy a skein of silk. So this is Malabrigo Mora. And then you just knit till that is done. And then you cast on your mohair. And then you're just going to make them 50-50 and then graft them together. It's my first time with mohair. With the silk, my Addy Rockets were too slick.
Okay.
They kept slipping. So I changed over to these wood needles. I think they're Dreams.
Okay.
But now they're too sticky for the mohair, so I'll switch back to my Addies. But you guys, I can see why the rage for mohair. I have no idea what it's going to feel like next to my neck. We bought this yarn too when we were at Elgin Knitworks. This is a Lang mohair. And I forget the colorway is like mulberry. I think the silk is English Rose.
It's gorgeous.
And they had it on display. I'm such a sucker for knit shops that have actual, projects worked up because I'm so visual. I just went in there and I want that. I want that pattern, that yarn. Just give it to me. But these are size 3 needles.
Yes.
And that silk is going to be amazing. Yeah. So.
I just hope this doesn't matte during hot flashes. I just got thinking about that. Because you're like,
Yeah, everybody. That's right. You know what? That could. I may have to wear that to the outside.
put it on the outside, not the inside.
When do half flashes finish? Is what I want to know.
Yeah, well.
Okay, so little segue. I had my mammogram. Yeah,
I don't even
rings
want to
right
know
up there
about
with
that.
root canals and
Uh-huh.
other. Okay, so I said to the gal, "How old? When can I stop doing these?" And she just looked at me. She goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "When do I no longer need mammograms?"
That's good.
There's really
I don't
no
know.
age. It's when
Okay.
you just won't do anything if you find out you do have breast cancer. She goes, "People in their 80s and 90s.
Still are having these?
I think you should at least get a massage or something." Or something to go with it.
Absolutely. And
The
chocolate.
day off with pay.
Candlelight with aromatherapy.
Something.
In
All
a
right.
nice white
So how did
robe.
we segue from knitting to mammograms?
I don't
That
know,
was a
but
good
you
one.
did that. That
Yeah.
was totally your deviation.
It was, yeah.
No? Okay.
All right, what's next?
Cool. So I guess that is all we have for On the Needles. So
All right,
we are on to weight gains.
we have no weight loss this month. Either here or at Weight Watchers.
They all know the Weight Watchers never has a weight loss.
So we'll quickly progress to weight gains, which happen both here and at Weight Watchers. So,
and guess what I forgot to bring over? Keep talking.
okay, well, so again, I go to Magpie's Cottage in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, Sheboygan Falls. We have a local gal who is an indie dyer, Laurel from Blue Black Doxy Dye Works. Look at her
Love
Christmas
those
color.
Christmas colors.
Yeah, so this is a 75-25, I believe.
You knocked that out
Oh,
of the park.
85, 85-15,
Laurel.
and she called it Holly. I am thinking these will make a stunning pair of socks. And then she did the Victorian Christmas as well. So she called this Vicky for Victorian, but look at those colors. Yeah, she also did them with the Lorex in them. And there's a difference between Lorex and Stellene. I don't know what
Is
it
there?
is. Yeah, one.
I don't know what it is.
One's different than the other. Okay, I'm glad I went to college because it's sure showing today.
It sure is.
Yeah, Laurel, Blue Doxy Dye Works. This is the 85-15. Wow, nice. I think maybe socks with that too.
I think so. Because
Yeah.
these are not colors you would normally wear.
No,
So it's not like you would have a blouse or a tunic to wear that with.
no. Or give it as a gift.
You could.
Yeah,
Ooh, maybe a Lisa. Those are good colors for
yeah,
Lisa.
very good. Oh yeah.
And my weight gain, sorry I had to reach over and grab it, is I have participated in 2 of these now. These are Joanne Kylie's Sock of the Quarter Club,
No,
right?
The corner.
From Magpie's Cottage. Dawn knows much more about the details of the club, but I'll bet you could sign up for that on her website.
I bet you can, yeah.
So in her little goodie bag, you get a pattern. This is actually one of Miss Joanne's patterns, and it is called Greenfield Socks. And it comes with a hank of blue Doxy dye work.
Look at this
and
color.
if this is not my color, I love these blues. Nice, rich colors. This is a short hair base. That's the name of the base, right? Short hair. And it's the sock yarn 7525. And then Miss Joanne made a little notions bag. This is quite the deal, ladies. This sock kit is very affordable, and as Miss Joanne would, it's in a nice multi-purpose clear bag. What more can you ask for?
I threw one of those in the garbage, and
did
I
not.
actually went and got it out thinking, what was I thinking? I don't know.
You
This
were
frugal thing's getting a little overboard. Okay. Whoa.
just looking for some converts. It's all Dawn. I'm not asking for much, just some converts.
Too funny. Now, we may have bought some yarn yesterday at our little outing, but
Oh, do share.
No,
Because I
no,
did
I'm not
not
gonna
get
share.
to. You're not going to share it
no,
all?
I'll share next time.
Okay.
So
Because I didn't even see everything you had on the counter.
I know.
It was a pile with several levels.
And the receipt says Fleet Farm. Or Lowe's. We need
She
to
brought
say
it
something
back
like that.
in a Home Depot bag.
That's right. That's exactly it. All right. He knows better.
That's
All
right.
Boy, our next segment is where to knit, our local little yarn shops. And you got some sad news.
Very sad news. You know that I go to Yarn Craven in Perrysburg, Ohio. Miss Bobby is closing the shop.
I know. How long did you say she'd been there?
13 years the shop's been
Wow,
open.
13.
But the little house that she leases is being increased in rent yet again. And I think many of our LYS owners would tell you that the profit margin is pretty slim. And she even actually does other creative avenues and income streams apart from the knit shop.
Yeah.
And so the beauty of it is that she is moving to a nearby town, a rural town, and she's going to open up a facility that will feature her hand-dyed yarn. She's an indie dyer, so it'll feature that. And she's only going to carry, did we say 3 other brands
2 or
of
3
yarn?
yarns, yeah.
Yeah, she's going to carry Blue Moon Fibers, or no, Juniper Moon Fibers.
And Ba?
And Ba. And that's it. But she's going to sell stitch markers, project bags, etc., etc. So that announcement was made 2 weeks ago, and I have to tell you, Dawn,
I'd be sick. I would be sick
there were some
if we
tears
lost, I'm
because it's the community.
Sure. Yep.
So speaking of the community, this is what Miss Bobby has agreed to do. She's still going to let us come to her new shop every Thursday night for knit
For
night.
open knit.
For open knit. So I'm thankful for that.
So,
I'm thankful.
We both are committed and passionate about the knitting community. So whether it be a virtual knitting committee like this, or community, our little yarn shops, our people who get together and meet at the coffee shop, I just think all of that is so important for far beyond knitting.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I mean,
our lives
absolutely.
intersect there, and we're able to laugh. And we say that every time, right? We laugh, we cry.
We do.
We make up stories just for fun, embellish them when necessary, tell them over and over, the funny ones.
Absolutely.
But yeah, gosh. And then I live in Green Bay, and so, Sheboygan's like an hour and 10 minutes south, Sheboygan Falls. 2 knit shops in between have closed. Yeah, one in Appleton, Wisconsin, and one in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. So again, I don't know the reason for those closing, but again, communities affected, knitting communities affected. So we're advocates, of course, of supporting the local yarn shop as much as possible, but also the committees that support the shop.
Yeah, and I don't know how we can help them unless we really pull back from that online knitting. I mean, online purchasing.
I know.
I don't know of any other way.
Right.
And I know I sometimes get a bit impatient with everyone else, or I see a deal that I think I can't pass up, but it's coming at a price. And while you can still knit virtually, you could do it via Zoom, via Skype, via whatever. It is not the same.
Right.
It's not the same.
You need to be able to.
You would never do that to your sister.
Never.
Because then you would get a wet willy in your ear.
Any one of my brothers in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Yeah, so that is kind of our bummer news is that some local knit shops to us are closing. The other thing we've been talking about at our knit shop is what to do with all your scrap yarn. So 2 things we're thinking about, Penny and I. One is, there's a pattern out by Kay Jones called the Bits and Bobs
Yes.
blankets. Knit to whatever weight of yarn you want. It's a fisherman's rib. It is a really nice pattern. So I've started a Bits and Bobs. I'm using 2 strands of fingering as opposed to worsted because I have so much fingering.
Oh, I know.
So, good, okay.
Hello, everyone. We apologize for the break in the action, but we've had technical difficulties for the past several hours, and we couldn't figure it out. So we're taping another segment, and we're gonna splice those 2 together. So thanks for hanging in with us while we figure this out.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's all cool.
we'll either learn or we won't.
That's right. You're so profound. I think I'm gonna etch that in my palm.
Oh, too funny. So thanks for being patient. There's just a couple of other things. We left the last video off saying that we were going to talk about scrappy blankets, but we realized since that time I didn't even bring mine with me. So we will hold that until next month when we'll talk about some different, theories, philosophies, or uses for scrap yarn when you have it, and the sharing when people have extra leftovers. So we will do both the knitting, crocheting, different weights of yarns. Hey, if we were crocheters, we'd be hookers. I'd lose money.
Dawn.
Okay. We may have to edit that out.
Yeah, there are, I'm sure, many things we're going to have to edit out of this. However, yeah, that's one thing that I haven't been on my bucket list, so it might as well be that.
Hey, what are you wearing?
Oh, hey, we did forget to say, didn't we? I'm sorry. I am wearing my 3-color cashmere shawl by Joji Locatelli, and it's in Leading Men Fiber Arts base Delectable. Now, I'm sure that's not the name of their base, but it is Delectable. Oh, my goodness. It's just wonderful. A tactile delight.
A tactile delight. Okay, I am wearing The Hitchhiker by
Martina Bain.
Martina Bain, yeah, and I just did some little change that somebody on recommended with their project page where like every 8th row is eyelets. And it is out of Madeline Tosh. And it's just one of those that you throw on.
It is.
You wear it quite often. See, I can try to balance it, but then... Okay, and it has some salsa and some guacamole.
Pumpkin pie, Cool Whip.
Not that we've ate that since the first taping or anything.
That's how we dealt with the first technical difficulty. I need guacamole, somebody. Yeah.
Oh, stress. One of the topics we wanted to bring up for discussion, and sure would love your input, is what do all of you do when you block a project and the colors and the yarn bleed? What do you think?
Well, Dawn, the frugal side of me says it's probably best, if there's any doubt, to do a citrus acid soak first. But that leads me to this other question, this larger question. Many times I have no idea what dyeing technique or types of dyes the fibers went under or through before I received it. So I understand that protein-based or vegetable-based dyes are very different than acid-based
Oh, sure,
dyes.
that makes sense.
So if you do a citric acid soak, I think that's for acid-based dyes, but not plant dyes. And if I have that backwards, I'm sure one of you can gently correct me, because if it's too harsh, I could cry. But anyway...
Or I'm thinking I should have paid attention in chemistry.
That's probably the
yeah,
better
I didn't
case.
do that either.
We have pretty thick skin.
Yeah.
But anyway, to me, I think that's probably the most frugal approach. However, I got to be the first to tell you, I rarely do that because I'm ready to get working.
Yeah, I haven't planned accordingly, and I just want to cake up that yarn and use it.
I know.
So do you contact the dyer? We have in the past taken pictures, let them know what wool wash we use. We let them know, what the ball band said, how we followed the ball band. We use color catchers and all of that. But yeah, if you wouldn't mind sharing with us what you do when you have something that bleeds, maybe even tricks that you've had to try to diminish the bleed
Absolutely.
once it's happened.
Absolutely.
And then do you cry in public? Do you cry in private? Do you eat a bowl of ice cream? Because
Depending
all
on the
that work-
severity of the bleed.
all that work. So
Yeah.
we realize that it's a risk. We would just like to minimize that risk as much as possible.
We would. And I think, too, in the back of my mind, Dawn, if there is a protocol
Yeah.
that we don't know about,
Yeah, let's
we
know it.
don't want to create any dissension amongst our fellow knitters. We want to do what's right and what's most appreciated by our indie dyers.
Yeah.
So thanks for doing that for
We
us.
love the indie dyers. So.
We do.
Well, good. Now, last podcast, we asked your opinions to email us or send us messages on Ravelry and a couple of suggestions. Penny's was the first one.
Right. I asked you which pom-pom would look best on my faux ball fight cable hat, and the majority said the gray. And so as soon as I get those snaps tacked, as soon as I get those snaps tacked onto my hats, I'll show this to you next week or month.
See, if we were hookers, we'd have a total different vocabulary. My question was...
you would. I might include words that end with is. Anyway, go ahead. We're beyond.
Okay, we did say, we checked the box on YouTube saying this was a family
It
video.
is a family video. It
Okay.
is absolutely one.
Thank you. I had 3 colors of yarn that I'd gotten from Watts Up Yarn, and people sent me suggestions. I favorited all of those. Some of them were shawls
Beautiful.
I'd never seen before, so that was excellent. But you know, I'm just going to put that on hold for now because I have so many shawls to get through before the end of the year or in classes that we're taking right now.
Yeah.
So we will finish those up, and that kind of segues us into, we're thinking about 2019.
And I have to tell you all, Dawn knit 15 shawls this year.
No, I couldn't
Is
believe
that crazy?
When we looked at the Ravelry pages.
Because we use the Ravelry free feature challenge. So if you look at the top of your screen in the right corner, you'll see the little challenge.
Yeah, if you're under your projects.
Under your
Yep,
projects in your notebook in projects. Yeah, just click on that challenge, and we both did a challenge for this year. Tell them where you are right now in your challenge.
I have one right, one to go.
No.
Or did I
think
finish it?
You finished.
Okay, so I'd put 40 projects, and I think maybe today I hit 40. So, but we'll try to share with you some of the other things we're learning about Ravelry. Like, it can tell you how many meters of yarn you purchased. If you tagged it for like 2018, it'll tell you how much yarn you used. I think all of that stuff is fascinating because I have no concept.
Right.
As the year goes, if I look back at what I did in last year, I would have told you for sure some of that was the previous year.
Right. Yeah.
So we're trying to get better at Ravelry and yet not all consuming because the more time we spend there, then the less time that we can spend knitting if we so choose to do that. So I will figure out what I'm going to do with that yarn. So
then I'm throwing the gauntlet down. Boom. In December, we both have to have a new 2019 challenge.
Yep, I'll do that.
And our 2019 goals, including
Out loud.
including the new techniques.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, because we typically try to challenge ourselves to learn new techniques each year.
We love to learn.
We do.
So
We really do. Except iMovie.
yeah, iMovie might be. Is that a knitting technique? If anybody knows it.
Yes, we could use tutelage.
I know, because won't let anybody do it for us because that would cost money. Can't do that. So if we could figure out how to bribe a college kid,
There you go.
we could knit them hats.
We could. Or scarves. We're
scarves.
easy going.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. So that'll be our December podcast. We should be together, weather cooperating for Christmas. So it will be a late December podcast, which will be episode number 5 already.
It will. Yeah, that'll be fun.
So yeah, we want to continue doing once a month podcasting if we can figure out a way to do that, and we really just want to do it side by side.
Yes.
we can't handle the technology side by side. Can you imagine us doing it from two different locations? It would be like we'd have to draw pictures and hold them up to the screen.
While we're talking on our can with our yarn between us.
Too funny. Let's make sure. Oh, and then, do you want to tell them about maybe the knit along?
All right, we are going to launch our very first year-long knit along. However, we can't announce the details yet because Dawn has contacted the designer for whom we would like to honor in our knit along and feature, and we don't exactly know what the professional protocol for that is. So once we are in touch with her and we understand the parameters, the expectations, the common courtesies, whatever those might be, then we will let you know. But this we can say, regardless of whom it will be, there will be at least 6 giveaways next year. And we'll have all that outlined in our show notes and in the Ravelry thread.
Yeah, and we're not about rules, really.
No.
They'll be very global, like cast on.
Just, I think that's our only rule right now, is that it gets cast on in 2019.
Yeah. So
it'll be fun. I
yeah,
think.
that might be my New Year's Eve cast on.
Yes,
Wouldn't that be
she's
fun?
just talking to me about these New Year's Eve casts on and
Christmas Eve cast on. So
I know. I'm looking
very
forward to
good. That'll be fun.
that. It will, absolutely.
I think, is that at our list? I think it might
I
be.
think that's it. So on behalf of Frugal and Frivolous, we hope that your knitting is a delightful twist of Frugalous and Frivolous.
Frugalous.
Frugalous? I just made up a new word.
Okay.
If it's a delightful
Do you want to do
twist.
do you want to do like a stroke scale right now or something? You're making up words. We're blabbering.
Okay, I have to tell you, Frugalous.
And frivy.
Okay.
Frivy and fugal. Oh, I
Frugal.
can't even talk.
Okay, it's got to be Frugalous. And we hope your knitting is blended like that. You can contact me via email at frugalmisspenny@gmail.com. You can also find me on Instagram as The Apron Knitting Lady. The Knitting Apron Lady. That stroke scale's going up. And on Ravelry as The Apron Lady.
So if she really is having a stroke, the next podcast will be from the rehab center. So I am Dawn Marie Knits on all of them. So Gmail, or no, on Instagram and Ravelry. On Ravelry, Dawn Marie Knits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we have a Frivolous and Frugal group. So you can go to the groups tab and just type in Frivolous
Absolutely.
and Frugal. And that's where we post the show notes. So
Right. And your Frivolous Dawn at
Oh, that's
gmail.com. Right?
that's the one I was trying to think. Which one was I missing? But that was the
That
one.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, and we really have to remind each other to check Gmail because that is not our usual mail that we use. So, well, very good. Enjoy the build up to the holiday season. Take time with your
Absolutely.
family and friends. Get together and knit with your knitting community. And we will see you in about a month's time.
Sounds great.
All
Thanks
right.
so much, everyone. See you next month.
Bye-bye. Another 12